Hello everyone, today we are going to show you how to run ORI Python library, actually any Python code really, using a Jupyter Notebook. And we aim to publish more videos oriented toward the Python part of ORI because that is becoming pretty popular among you. As prerequisites, you should have installed Python and pip. And we recommend that you also have downloaded the ORI Swig repository because this is where we have some examples ready to be used in the Jupyter Notebook and also some additional Python functions you might find useful. And if you haven't done these steps, check Eric's video on how to do this. You should see a link now and it's also in the description. If ever you need it, there are also some instructions regarding the first step I'm going to show you now, which is available on ORI Swig repository. So in this video, in this short video, we'll try to show you a few things. First, obviously, how to install and launch a Jupyter Notebook. Then we'll show you how to run ORI Python from a new notebook. We'll quickly show you how ORI Python compared to ORI launch from a command script, what people usually are used to. Then I'll quickly show you as well how to import the utilities file, which is a file where we have a few additional Python functions which can be useful. Then I'll show you why it's always a bit complicated to run ORI when the current repository is not in the example you want to run. And finally, how to run ORI from anywhere else by showing you how to run the ORI Academy Equity Option example from the main repository. So let's open a Jupyter Notebook. Now the first thing you want to do is open a command prompt like this. Then you want to navigate to the location from where you're going to run your Python code. This is usually where your ORI inputs are located, and the ORI inputs look like this. So if we navigate back to the ORI Swig master main folder, I tend to save them in Python example and where all the notebooks are saved, but that's up to you. Now if you save it somewhere else, you just bear in mind that you might have to change your OS directory, but that's easy enough to do. So to navigate to that folder, just copy, then cd command, don't forget to quote, and then like this. Then the next step is to create a virtual environment. Now it's not necessary, but when you have multiple projects, it just makes it easier to navigate through them. So you can simply copy paste the commands that we have set in this page. So you can just do python.m venv, and then you give the name of your environment. Here we're just going to say by default venv. Once it's created, don't forget to activate it like this, and then now you can see that we are in this virtual environment. Then we're going to install some of the libraries that we're going to need, including obviously open source Whisk engine and Jupyter Lab. And this can take a while. Once you're here, all you have to do is open Jupyter Lab by copying this command and running it. And here we go, it's open. And you can see on the left, we have some example of notebook. So if you open this one, you can explore them. For now, we're just going to show you how to launch a new one. So you just go back to the main folder and then create a new notebook, and then to import ORI, just do from ORI import star, and then you do Control Enter. Now the question is, which data do you want to use to run ORI? If you already know ORI and you have a specific example to run from another folder, or if you want to run some examples directly from the ORI repository, I will show you later how to do this. For now, we're just going to use one of the examples we have in front of our eyes, So let's take the data from example 1. And the first thing you want to do is set yourself in this folder, and I will show you why you have to do this shortly. And I will also show you a comparison with ORI when it's launched from a command prompt, and you'll see that it works exactly the same way. So to do the equivalent of this cd command, you need first to import the OS library. And then you're going to set yourself in example 1 with the os.chdr command. Then the first ORI command we need to run is the parameters, which allow us to load the data from the XML master file with the from file at with the input/ori.xml file. And then we're going to parse it with the ORI app command with params as input. And once you're there, all you need to do is run ORI with ori.run. And just to make sure that it ran correctly, we're going to print the evaluation date, ori.getInputs as of. And you can see that it matched the one in the master file, so we're all good. And just as a reminder, this is how you run ORI with a command prompt. First, you obviously open one, and then you copy the path to the location you want to go. So here into example 1. Then you do a cd into this location. If ORI is registered within your in your path environment, when you type ORI, it should say this. The way we run it is ORI with input/ori.xml, and here we go. That's how it runs. And just as a comparison, this is pretty much the same thing that we've done in the Python. Now I want to show you how to load the utilities file, which contains some helper function, which you might find useful. The first thing you want to do is make sure that this the folder which contains this file is located within your environment. Otherwise, it's gonna fail when you import it, as you can see here. So what we're gonna do, we're going to import the sys library. First, let's just check, what path is in our environment with sys.path, and then we're going to add the current folder where this utility file is located. So we're going to do sys.path.append, and we're just going to do a ... which means current folder. You can also add absolute path. So we do this, and then we just check that it's been added with syspath again, and you'll be able to see it. It's going to be added at the end. That's the last one. And then now if we do import utilities, and then we're just going to try one of these functions. So utilities.check error, which is going to check error and runtime, just going to check if there's any errors and how long it took to run it. You can see error 0 and runtime. Now let's restart the kernel, because I want to show you what happens when your current directory is not in an example folder. So if we do the same thing as before, we're just going to condense all commands in once. The only difference here is that we have to go into example 1 first. If we run this, we're going to fail. We're going to have an error here, and the reason is if we look at this file, those are relative paths, and the convention file is the first one that we need to open. This is also a relative path to it. And if you want to know more about all these things, I invite you to go check one of our previous video where we explain all this. The last thing I wanted to show you is how to run an example from any folder, really. And we're going to look at one of the examples you should be familiar with, because we used it in previous videos, the equity option from the ORI Academy. So if we position ourselves in this folder, we're just going to do import os and then os.chdr with this path. Here, this is not going to work if you add a little r in front of it. That should do it. Once you position yourself into this folder, you can just copy the aggregated list of commands that we need to do. And here we go. it works it's as simple as this. And you can check here, if we look at the master file, the date is the right one. And this is it for this short video about how to run ORE in a Jupyter Notebook. We will aim at doing more of this type of videos, so please let us know in the comment if this is something you like. There's a lot of things to explore with Python, so please subscribe and stay tuned. Goodbye.